tires and light the fires. Do it.
Hey, what's up, Browns fans? Thanks for stopping into the Danger Zone. I'm Josh. He's Rich, and we're in the poo off season, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like we're to that gray zone where it's not even the off season. We're just not playing football.
It's purgatory. It's
this
football
is where
purgatory right now.
In past seasons, this is where we're right where we were from week 6 until the draft.
Yeah,
or free agency. Like, I mean,
it's just shortened this year.
Yeah, but so all the shit emotion is going to be packed in just to a smaller area, which will probably be better for us.
Yeah, I think so. Well, we're gonna go into a glass house of emotion one last time. I want to do one last gasp at the Cleveland versus KC game back there on Sunday. I don't want to reopen the wounds, but I think I want to make sure everyone's, I don't know, you take away what you will from it, but I want to just explain what I'm taking away from this, and I think how people should be viewing this, and then I want to get your opinion afterwards. I'm not going to beat it to death, but I think, you know, we've all played the outcome, like I said, of that game over and over since Sunday. You know, some people probably took a little longer to get over it than others, but I do want to put it to bed with a few words, and there were issues in this game. Moments we'd like back, moments the players and coaches would like back for sure. I'm going to stress that, you know, we don't dwell on those moments, though, those individual singular moments. The team's going to dissect them enough for all of us, you know, and let's take away something more. Let's do that. Yeah, more meaningful, really. Let's start with the monumental accomplishment of making it to the divisional round period. That's not me settling. That's just looking at reality, right? So starting with that, you know, I don't think not a single one of us on September 13th, after we, you know, got trounced by Baltimore in the season opener, thought that this team would be playing in the divisional round. Not one person thought that. But through marked growth, individual development, and a galvanization of this team, especially on the offensive side of the ball, it was a pleasure to watch. And, you know, the Browns achieved some pretty awesome accomplishments this year. And the biggest thing they got was actual confidence. You know, a week after a heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs, I'm going to say I'm pretty damn excited. That's what I'm taking away from this game. Rich, what do you think about it?
So, you know, we had the conversation when we talked about what we thought their record would be at the end of the season. And I am going to fucking blow out my shoulder here and pat myself on the back. I said 10-6. Okay. And we'd make the playoffs, but we wouldn't make a run. And in fairness, I expected us to be out in the wild card round. Just didn't think the team, I mean, being so young and, you know, the lack of playoff experience with your playmakers, not the role guys, but like for lack of playoff experience from your guys, from the guys you need, wouldn't allow us, and they overachieved. So I'm going to get to the real, you know, I'm going to make it short here, at least for how I feel. I'm ecstatic going into the offseason. I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody says, with Rona and everything involved, the Browns are a year ahead of schedule. They couldn't have asked for things to go better in terms of the outcome for the season.
Yep.
Now, that being said, with the overall expectation and happiness of the season, the KC game, we had the opportunity to win it. All right.
It was there.
Our boy Jeremy from CLE Tribecast said, you know, 3 defensive stops. If the Browns can make 3 important defensive stops, we'll win the game. And the Browns made 2, you know, game-changing stops throughout the game. And we needed a third one. Stefanski learned some things that you would hope that a rookie coach would learn, who happened to win Coach of the fucking Year, like we've been shouting, like there wasn't another guy for it.
Yes, but he still has to bring home the trophy-related one at the NFL Honors. It should be a lock, I would think.
It's not even like I'd be curious to know. I didn't look it up where those awards have varied between the writers and the NFL.
Yeah, especially
And
with coach.
I bet it's a 98% fucking
Yeah, because we've seen it happen with Baker his rookie season. Remember, he won the one, but not the big one. But whatever.
which was just whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I think going forward and how the cap shapes out and things of that nature, you know, after the Kansas City game, I want to get past it. I think there was a good learning experience for our young guys and our young coach. And as you said, you know, they'll be better for it in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, where we're at right now, nobody expected us to be. There were conversations that could Cleveland beat Kansas City? You know what I mean? Like, if Cleveland beats Kansas City, they could win the Super Bowl. Like, huh? What? Nobody expected that.
Let's be honest. With Patrick Mahomes playing for the Chiefs, we were 3 good defensive players at key positions away from toe-to-toe, no matter if Mahomes was in there or not.
Yes.
And that speaks a lot to this team and where they're at, man. Look, and don't be fooled. We talked about it on the post game. It's going to be the Chiefs and the Bills. These are the teams we're going to have to go through. Probably Baltimore. I mean, I'm not a huge fan, but let's face it. They seem to win 12 to 14 games a season, so they're going to be right there in the mix. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough. You got a lot of young teams coming up in the AFC with young quarterbacks, I should say. And I like what I've seen from this team this year, because we're going to need that gusto moving forward, because it's going to be a hell of a stretch to try to, you know, make runs over the next 5 to 10 years, which is great. Who doesn't love that type of competition, especially when you can compete, right?
Right.
So, you know, okay, we'll move past Kansas City. I think we're all in agreement with there's a lot to look forward to. We're on to the offseason.
We're on to the offseason.
Offseason. So with that, we're going to look back a little bit again, but we're going to look at how the team performed in all 3 facets of the game. So like I was talking about earlier, I think there's a lot to be excited about. Well, let's go a little deeper now. So let's break down each side of the ball, including special teams. I know it's, you know, not the barn burner side of the ball, but we're going to include them as well, how they performed, and we'll give an MVP for that unit. Since I said special teams a bunch there, let's start with special teams. Screw it. Not the sexiest facet of the game, I know, but an important one in its own ways, by its own right. How did Prefer's unit, Prefer, did I pronounce that right? I think I always mess it up. Anyway, how did they perform, do you think, Rich? And then shoot me an MVP for that unit.
Meh.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good description. I like that one.
There were no big time impactful plays on special teams.
No,
at all, outside of field goal misses or makes. You know what I'm saying?
More misses than makes in terms of impactful.
Yeah, I don't. I'm just fucking. I don't fucking care. Like, the special teams was not good, I guess you could go to say. One or two is nice to have in a season, for the love of God.
Yeah,
and one of them would have been great in a timely manner this year. On that note, my MVP is fucking Charlie Hewlett.
Aha, motherfucker. I'll jump right to mine real quick. Yes, it is.
Did I steal yours?
Okay. It's cool.
Well, I mean, look, don't give me real quick. Hold on. I like Jamie Gillum. All right.
Yeah.
But he did his job. He didn't do it spectacularly.
Correct.
He is hot garbage. And I didn't see any shitty snaps.
No, never.
Charlie fucking Hewlett.
Right? Yeah. I agree, man. I think,
so there's the MVP. That's the guy.
It's unanimous. The unit performed actually horribly this year. And it's, they were, in terms of field goals, 79%, it's not going to get it done. No punts or kicks returned for touchdowns. You talked about that. 89% on extra points. I'm sorry. You better be 100, but whatever missing one.
Well, what's the NFL average?
It's probably slightly higher than 89. I don't have a number, but it's probably 92 to 95 or something dumb like that.
I got you.
You know what I mean? It's probably a little higher. Anyway, your net average on punch, you talked about Gillen, bottom third, so he didn't do anything crazy. Now, some of this can speak to how our offense performed. Maybe we were punting closer to the 50-yard line than we were deep in our own side of the field there. But overall, they did not perform well, I don't think. Kick coverage seemed to be weak and faltered too often. I held my breath anytime someone brought it out of the end zone. Not that people were breaking big ones on us, but it seemed like they were slippery enough to make you worry about it.
It always seemed like one was going to pop.
Yeah, right. And
you know what I mean? And the team, it always seemed like against us, it was going to pop and go to the end zone.
Correct. And it's an odd thing because I do feel like Prefer's a good coach. I think he's proven throughout his career that, he's pretty good at what he does. Maybe it was just a down year. I mean, hell, I'll buy that, I guess. But I do think an upgrade at kicker, is an absolute this offseason. Not that Parkey performed really atrociously. He missed some kicks, some extra points, and he needs to be better at that. I had no confidence in that guy. Because he didn't strike confidence in me. You look at the guy's face, it looked like someone just, beat up his mom or something, and he's so sad about it. I don't know. He just looked like he was frazzled all the time.
Like he honestly, he looked like he knew he was already going to miss the kick.
That's good. That's a good way to explain. Yes,
that's what he looked like. He looked like he knew he was already going to fucking miss. Yeah,
and I don't like that, man. I don't like it.
No, I mean, but you're at the end of the day, like, what are you going to be? Some badass kicker?
Yeah, give me Phil Dawson again. Where's our next Phil
Nobody
Dawson?
cares. Like, I want a robot. This is what I want. I want a robot guy, which I thought was Phil Dawson. Like, it was just, I'm here to do my job. I make kicks, and then I go back to the sideline and hang out by the heater.
He was a artist, is what Phil Dawson was.
Okay, fine. Or do away with the kicker altogether. Go for 2 every fucking time and go for it on 4th down. That's what I want. A robot
it's evolving
human kicker
way.
Or nobody. Yeah.
It's definitely evolving.
I can't stand. I never liked and I think just because of history, we still have kickers. I hate the idea that the play comes down to but it's good for TV. It's good drama.
It is. And look, we're bound to be in that position. I guess that's why my stance is what it is on Parkey. With how good the AFC is set to be, especially offensively, there's likely to be a lot of tight games moving forward with teams in meaningful games. And man, I'd like to feel a little more comfortable with the guy going back there kicking if the game's on the line. So
yeah, like we got fucking what's his face out of Baltimore, Justin Tucker, who looked like ass in the playoffs. But
yes, he did.
In the regular season, like, you're like, all right, well, we got the field goal. Like, you already accounted for the points.
Yep. 55-yarder, no problem.
Right. So having that kind of guy would make a huge difference, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Charlie Hewlett, like I said, agree with you. MVP. I almost said Prefer, even though he's not a player. For stepping in for Stefanski in that wild card round. I think he did a very admirable job there, and these guys rallied. It wasn't all him, but he did what he was called to do at that time. So, but give it to a player. And, while being the furthest thing from a sexy position, like we said, the guy's consistent. You never hear his name. He snaps the ball like a great snapper of the ball would do, I guess.
Yeah, nothing outrageous, but it's the position that you need perfection every single time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's move on. Move on to a different side of the ball,
Good.
One with a little more juice. Let's go defense. We're going to save the offense for last. So we'll move on to a side of the ball that has more question marks than a hospital form. Our defense. So, I think we could spend probably 3 episodes talking about the issues on this side of the ball.
12.
But we don't want a line to start forming at the 480 bridge, so we'll try to keep it condensed and get our point across. I'm sure you've had, to think long and hard to sum this up, Rich, about how this unit performed. So lay it on me, and then cap it off with your MVP.
So the performance overall for what should have been expected is I got exactly what I expected. I honestly, from the defense as a whole unit, it wasn't going to be good. Turnovers were going to be key. And a bend don't break mentality was what you were going to get at best during this season.
Yeah.
You had some guys that you expected to play well kind of shit the bed. Mac Wilson shit the bed. I thought Adrian Claiborne would have a little more impact in the middle of the season as opposed to starting the season strong and ending the season strong. Larry Ogunjobi didn't really answer any questions for me. I don't know if we're bringing him back. You know, I wouldn't be upset in either direction, no matter what we do. You know, injuries devastated the back half of the defense, the back four mainly. And the linebackers were bad. Fucking period. I mean, they were just not fucking good. And I'm going to give you a two-piece answer for MVP.
Oh.
Myles Garrett's the MVP. Period. All right. And the defensive rookie MVP that I just made up because I make the fucking rules on Sundays. Is Jacob Phillips.
Yeah, he's showing promise. That's for sure.
He showed exactly what this front office wants in their linebackers, which basically is you have one job, tackle. You don't need to be smart. We just need you to be fast, and we need you to tackle. So, I mean, the defense-wise, like I said, I mean, you and I have been ranting and raving about it all during the season, leading up to the season. Mm-hmm. The defense wasn't going to be good, and it was part of the plan, unfortunately. You know, if you chase two rabbits, they're both getting away. So the front office fixed one side of the ball. They chose one rabbit, and they caught it, and they fixed the offense. So, yeah, Myles Garrett, and I want to give a little bit of extra love to Jacob Phillips, man. I like what I've seen out of him.
I like the Jacob Phillips pick there. I think he's very promising. The defense, I think overall, you know, it's been up and down all season. We've seen some great plays. We've seen some extremely frustrating plays. I think the kiss of death, though, for this defense was their inability to show up in big moments, right? So we had big plays, but it just seemed like they weren't when we needed them the most. You know, and when we did need it, you know, nothing was delivered. Particularly, you know, third and fourth down, we were almost automatic against us. And that's unfortunate. You know, they played opportunistic at times. And hell, you can probably even credit a couple games to them. Even the wild card game, you know, you can make an argument that the defense actually won that game. But, you know, how sustainable is 3 to 5 turnovers a game? You can't try and make your living on that. So the only way to see better results is to get more talent. And some of that talent hopefully will come back naturally with guys who are already on the roster. You talked about injuries, you know, missing time due to injuries. But that's not going to be enough either. There's going to be a heavy emphasis on getting better defensively. The linebacking core, D-line help, secondary. I mean, you know, that would actually probably be my pecking order too in terms of additions or upgrades. Don't get me wrong. There are some pieces to work with. Harrison, I thought, was a nice surprise this year.
Harrison's a starter. Right. Harrison is a starter on this defense going
forward.
What
a pickup, right? What a pickup by this front office. You mentioned Jacob Phillips. I think he has some pretty good potential. We just need to get off the damn field in third and fourth down, and that's really what it breaks down to. Statistically, we didn't grade out horrible. I mean, even top 10 defense against the run. You know, but like I said, the lack of big plays when needed is what left a sour taste in my mouth with this defense. So, and I think that's kind of, you know, why people are giving Woods a little bit of, flack. Schematically, we need to make some adjustments. So Woods going to have to assess and make some adjustments too. And I spoke about it on Thelonious' podcast about we go into this offseason upgrading the defense, and we give, obviously Woods gets another year. Firing him is ridiculous. But we need to see improvement. Like, we can't, it's hard to sit back now that we're in the position we're in and say, okay, we can spend 2 to 3 years building you the perfect defense. You know, we got to go compete. Like, got to do it. So you got this offseason and next season to see some decent improvement in specifically those areas, in my eyes, third and fourth down. We'll see how that works out. But MVP, you're right, Myles Garrett. I mean, even though he struggled
there isn't anybody else.
No, he struggled a bit after COVID because, you know, of the whole breathing thing. But he's still the most important player and the most talented player on that side of the ball, period. So Myles, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be fun going in this offseason, actually, you know, number one, because of the promise for next year, because we performed so well this year. But understanding that we get to concentrate on only one side of the ball because the other side's pretty much good. Like usually we're going into an offseason looking at 5 to 8 players for offense, 5 to 8 players for defense, you know, coaching staff, front office, yada, yada, yada. But this time it's different. We're pretty much looking for maybe some filler pieces on offense and then quite a few defenders probably. I think you're going to see a lot of new faces on that side of the ball. All right, Rich, anything else to close out with the defense before we move on to the offense?
No. Oh, well, I mean, other than, like you said, just kind of attacking it the right way, you know, you can't really judge Woods on this season, but it is like okay, make or break it.
Yeah.
You know, the personnel just wasn't there. There's nothing you could tell me that would convince me otherwise. I mean, Denzel Ward missed some time. Ronnie Harrison missed some time. Myles Garrett missed some time. Olivier Vernon missed some time.
Yep.
You know, our second and third backup corners missed some time. I'm not making excuses.
That's fact. That's just facts.
It's an already weak unit, and then you're weakening it more.
Mm-hmm.
So, Woods, fucking get your shit together, buddy, because it's grading season coming up now.
Wake your ass up. We've got to win tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're no fucking excuses next year, dude.
No.
It's got to be a top 15 defense, period.
Yep. And like I said, I think with me, the biggest thing, and this is going to be my judgment when it's all said and done, how did we perform when we needed to perform? Those moments, getting off the field on third downs, fourth downs especially. God, we were just so bad in those areas.
Altogether bad.
Yeah. The improvement for me, that's exactly where I'm going to be keyed. And I know that's tied to talent. You know, a lot of the times you saw guys who just couldn't get there. They just couldn't get there, or they got beat. They're running in. You know how many times I've seen linebackers run into each other?
And they were already in shitty pass drops in the first place.
You know how many times I've seen arms in the fucking air? Like, who's got who? Where are we at? Like, I hate seeing that when I'm watching this fucking football team and I see arms go up in the air right before the snap. I want to rip my TV off the wall. Rich, I want to rip it right off the wall. So
I've been there.
Joe Woods, fix that so this fan's head doesn't explode and make a giant mess all over everything.
Giant fucking mess. Like, I don't think you people have an idea. Massive.
Well, you do have an idea if they're watching the video right now.
Yeah, but you got to zoom in and out a little bit. I think
it looks normal on video.
Use that head shrinker app, dude.
Oh, geez, Louise. All right, let's move on. We're going to be talking about this defense probably ad nauseum here going into the offseason.
Yes,
so.
yeah, absolutely.
Let's move on to the bright spot, obviously the offense, you know, and right now and probably for the foreseeable future is the backbone of this team. You know, I'm sure we're going to speak in a manner when summarizing the play of this unit, and it's going to be a bit more positive. So that's why I wanted to end this with the offense instead of the defense. You know, where do you sit, Rich, with the offense? And then obviously MVP nod, throw that one at me too.
All right. So first half, so we had the Rona season, and we have a new rookie head coach who's also the offensive coordinator or play caller, but offensive coordinator, basically. We had Baker coming out off a rough second year, shortened time. You take all those things into effect and then look at the end result of this offense, and you should be fucking head over heels in love with the performance of this offense.
Yep.
Period. Now, I can go around and give everybody the fucking circle jerk, you know what I mean? But at the same time, there are certainly things that can be better. We can get better depth, even though we got some just amazing fucking snaps from some guys that we still don't even know what their real name is. So you can get better, some depth there. You know, we could run the ball in better spots. I think second half of the year we went away from running the ball as much as we did in the first half.
Yeah.
Maybe by design, where Stefanski's like, you know, we're going to keep you in a box. We're going to run the football because we know we can. And we're going to let the quarterback grow in the passing game throughout the season, which would be the case if you're, paying attention. You got some surprise shit from Njoku. Like, his whole season could have gone off the rails.
Yeah,
it had every reason to go off the fucking rails, and it didn't. I'll come out and say it, kind of. Hooper was disappointing. All right, I'm not saying he's bad. I just expected more. Maybe it's a comfort thing with Baker, but usually when the quarterback, like, he has the best, like a young new quarterback or a backup, they always seem to find the tight end. So that's a little concerning. Getting OBJ back will help a lot. I've been wavering on this MVP thing. And I'm just going to say, fuck it, man. It's Jarvis Landry.
Nice. I didn't expect that one.
There's multiple guys that deserve it.
Yeah, you can make a case for pretty much a handful of guys, yeah. Nick
Chubb is number 1, Baker Mayfield number 2. You could have gone the offensive line as a unit.
Mm-hmm.
And we had we've seen some discussions the last week or so about the importance of Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
And what value versus stats argument. Jarvis Landry is the heart and soul of this team, which makes him the offensive MVP, which makes him the team MVP. And you can't tell me shit otherwise. Fuck you. You can't tell me anything.
Yeah.
It's Jarvis fucking Landry, dude. He single-handedly changed the culture of this team. And you want to question his value when he's first in yards, first in receptions, first in targets, first in first down catches, first in third downs, going for first downs. He blocks down the field. He plays hurt. He turns into a running back. He's not Captain fucking Yak. When he drops it, it's surprising. It's not commonplace.
Mm-hmm.
And all the shit that he does not on the football field, behind closed doors, is and I'm not saying he had a bad season. I'm not taking shit away from him. He's a very important piece of this offense going forward. The shit that he does behind closed doors and the attitude that he carries with him, and he puts the responsibility on the players with him. That shit that he does is way more important than anything he does on the field. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, you get a lot of people that kind of just look at maybe just production stats and formulate an assessment that way. And I think you're right. You have to take the whole spectrum of everything in it. And I'm probably going to use that discussion coupled with a couple other hot button things for my first little solo block next week. I got an idea for a little 10 to 15 minute rant on a couple things that might get pumped out there. So, and so you guys don't know, we plan on maybe bringing some of those to you, sprinkling them in throughout the offseason, just Rich rambling on about something for 10 or 15 minutes, or me. You might get either of us. Maybe we get frisky and decide to jump on together again in the middle of the week. It's just kind of going to be a free-for-all with extra content throughout the week, but it should be fun. Anyway, I digress. So, offensively, Rich, I think you kind of hit it with it changed throughout the season. So we saw the passing offense started to pick up as the season went along. And then the rushing side of it kind of, I don't want to say tailed off, but it lessened.
It tailed off.
Okay, we'll use the phrase. It tailed off. So, and, with that, I think you saw the comfort level grow, right? That was pretty much just the fans. And let's be honest, or let's be reasonable here. This guy, Stefanski, he's the guy. This guy is trying to his offense isn't implemented. You don't implement an offense your first year. Like, you start building foundational blocks, and then he's still trying to do that as this season goes on. And I think that only magnifies what he was able to do this season by winning 11 games and making the playoffs, because that was part of the process too. He's still implementing things now. He's got his base, but still trying to get that offense implemented. You know, that's why there's such excitement with obviously Baker going into a second year of a system, stability. I mean, all these things are going to pay dividends. Believe me on that. You know, this year though, I got to agree with you on one thing with the tight ends. I'm disappointed in Hooper. Obviously I was, I don't want to say I beat the drum for him, but he was my pick for free agent signing. And, you know, statistically he didn't show up huge. I know he had a pretty big role in the blocking game at times too, but actually overall, the tight end usage overall, I thought wasn't as potent as I was expecting it to be. And that's fine. I'm a nobody. I whatever. It worked. You know, they were able to produce points and win games. You know, they were, where'd they go? Fourth. They were able to climb fourth in all-time Browns history in terms of scoring. You know, what's odd about that though is as I'm looking at it, out of the top 10 scoring offenses in Browns history, this squad actually ranked lowest comparatively to the NFL ranking for that season. So right now, first is 1946 Browns. They scored 423 points. And remember, this was in fewer games. That was the first ranked in the NFL scoring that year, that team. 64 Browns scored 415. That was the second ranked team that year in scoring. Third is the 1947 Browns, who scored 410 points. That was the first ranked team that year in scoring. And then you've got our 2020 Browns with 408 points, ranked 14th this year in scoring. That tells you where this league is at, which is great. We all love scoring. Scoring's awesome. But it just kind of tells you where this league's at. You know, I thought this team, this side of the ball, this offensive unit, had some exponential growth this year, man. And I mean, what we saw was the setup to stability, something that can be sustained. And that's why there's such confidence going into this offseason. It's not fool's gold. You witnessed it with your eyes all year long. It wasn't just flashy play. It was set up of things. It was built on a foundation that's as old as time itself. You know, solid O-line play, running the football. It was started there, and we were able to spin a little bit off that once the passing game got going on. So MVP, I can't argue with your Landry pick, and I will definitely say you can pick the whole O-line for sure, and I almost went that direction. And Baker, you could make an argument for every single player on this side of the ball. I went with Teller, and the reason I went with Teller is I think that's because of what he was able to do this year. And I'll tell you what, man, his play won me over long before this, but kind of what sealed the deal was that video of him on the sideline in that Pittsburgh wildcard game, man, just fucking jacking everyone up. Same old Browns, boys. I fucking loved it. I was like, you know what? We need that on our team. We need someone who's going to push it in everyone's faces and say, look, now let's go get it. And, you know, kind of in the same way Landry does, a leader, right? I'll take as many leaders as I can. And
all different types, too. All different types of leaders. Just give me leaders. Fucking period.
You need it. And I think the one tying unit, you know, to that is obviously Stefanski. This is the catalyst that's making all this possible. You know, we talked about it a little bit earlier. We'll kind of go and segue into it now since I spilled it out there. You know, the guy deserves to win all 3 NFL Coach of the Year awards. He's got to, you know, he hasn't won the big one, the primo one yet. But I fully think he's going to win that one too. He won what is it? What are the other 2? They've got
Pro Football Writers of America
and some other one. The guy, we talk about it every episode, and it's warranted. What he's done for this franchise, for this organization, and for us, selfishly for us, what he's done for us bleeding Browns fans has been nothing short of a damn miracle this season, given the circumstances. And I mean, that's why our hopes weren't super high. I mean, we both said decent records in playoffs, but there was people picking, 7-9, 8-8, 6-10. And because of the uncertainty, he was able to persevere through that stuff. I've always said at the quarterback position, and obviously every position on this football team from the top down, We need overcomers. And he's proven to be that. And man, does that feel good, Richard.
It is. Look, man, there was every reason to go into this season expecting the Browns to win 8 games. And for that to be acceptable and to consider that growing.
Yeah.
All right. Rona, new head coach, the history of the Browns, how often they can their coaches, how often they hire coaches. All that added into it made the fact that he was able to be the only, only rookie head coach in the playoffs?
Playoffs?
I forget. He cracked a couple other records that escape me right now. Like the only rookie head coach with a winning record, I believe, and some other bits and pieces. But the fact that he was able to do what he did this year with all the reasons that it could have went sideways and it didn't. And then to make this statement that while Stefanski is the leader and is the tone setter and is changing the culture, the best teams are player-led teams.
Yeah.
And being a coach and a proper leader, letting some of the control be in the ranks to be able to lead from within, I guess is the way I'm kind of trying to put it, is a good job out of him as well.
Mm-hmm.
None of this happens this season without Kevin Stefanski.
Nope.
I don't see how it happens. I don't even have the feeling, when you talk about it and you have that kind of gross feeling on you when as soon as you talk about a head coach, you just immediately start going through the 638 names on our list. I don't get that anymore. No. When someone says head coach around me, the first thing I think of is the Crimson Chin fucking Kevin Stefanski. You know what I mean?
Oh, the Crimson Chin.
The job he did.
Oh, salt and pepper.
During this season for this franchise is fucking remarkable, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I said, it instills confidence in the players. Obviously, it's evident by the way they play. And like I said, more selfishly for us, it gives us confidence, not hope. Hope is a dead feeling to us now. It's confidence. And that's the biggest change for me, and I love it. So we are getting, obviously we talk about it, getting into the dead season, the off season, but we're going to definitely bring you guys tons of good content still. So don't fret about that. But other things are starting to gear up, basketball, baseball. With that, you got our guys over that Mark One Sports with all the other podcasts that are going to be giving you guys great content on that stuff. So be sure to go to Mark One Sports, check out everyone over there, CLE Tribecast, Ultimate Warriors, and your Mark One show. You got your Moneyline DFS for your daily fantasy sports. That's mark1sports.com. Hit up the store while you're there too and see what merch we got available for you. And as always, thank you for supporting us and what we do. Rich, I'm going to say it again. I've never been so excited to go into the off season. I can't wait for this season to get started. With that being said, man, I don't know, unless you got something else to add, lead us out with something.
Enjoy the quiet time in football, guys, and the non-unsettling feeling that we're going to hire the wrong guy, fire the wrong guy. Get rid of the feelings of somehow that the football gods were going to just nuke our franchise in the offseason for no good reason. Just enjoy the quiet time. Target. Look, we don't have to go through everybody with their fucking mock drafts.
Oh, there's going to be 100 though. Still
100 fucking million.
We'll have ours.
Yeah. I mean, and it's going to change, but regardless, just take a goddamn chill pill for a little bit. Let this set in, enjoy it. And get ready for some, conference championship games today. For me, in case anyone gives a shit, go Packers. I'm taking the Packers the rest of the way through because we're going to have to hate the Chiefs. We're going to have to hate Buffalo. And
true.
I've always hated Tom Brady. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers is a guy I can root for. His own family hates him. That's my kind of guy.
Yeah.
That is my kind of guy. And dude, he's literally Jesus on a football field. Aaron Rodgers makes it look so fucking easy. The guy is unfucking real.
He deserves another one. He deserves another one.
Yeah. Even though he has problems in big games, he's only won one NFC championship game, and that was against the Bears when Jay Cutler got hurt and Caleb Haney came in. Another fucking Haney to fuck up someone else's season. And he's lost all other. Now, granted, that one was home. The other 3 NFC championship games were away, and this one's in Lambeau today. Everybody's favorite place for playoff football. Period.
Yep.
So yeah, go Packers. That's it. I got.
He's like,
I got.
yes,
that's it.
rock and roll.
Fucking go Packers, man.
That's awesome. Yeah. I don't know about I don't know, man. You're right. We have to hate Kansas City and Buffalo. I don't know.
We're gonna hate them. So start now. Fuck them.
I don't know who I want to go from that matchup because it's like I don't want selfishly, and this is homerism. I don't want Allen to get there before Baker.
I want to see. Go ahead.
And I'm like, I gotta hate Kansas City now because they're instantly a rival now, and I don't know. It's gonna be. I think it's a good matchup really there, but I'm with you on the Packers thing, man. Why not?
Look, here's the thing with the Chiefs. All right, they beat us. I kind of want them to win. Takes the sting out of the loss.
Yeah,
we lost to the best team in the NFL. Damn it. And the Buffalo thing. I just kind of want to see Josh Allen come back to earth. His leap from year 2 to 3 was uncanny. It was too big of a leap to be the norm. So I think next year there's going to be some regression. You know what I mean? So I hope the fucking Chiefs-Buffalo game, I hope Josh Allen throws 5 picks and the Chiefs beat him by 600. And then the Chiefs get butt-fucked by Aaron Rodgers doing the discount double check. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I am that petty too. I love it. I can respect that. Too.
Yeah, I mean.
I'll agree with you, though. We'll give a Ghost Pack, but more importantly for the upcoming future here, go Browns.
Go Browns, baby.